Hello, everyone. Welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Cody, and I will be your host for the next hour and a half. Today, we are joined by the amazing illustrator, Darya Shnykina. Welcome, Darya. How are you doing today?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. It's so great to have you. I'm so excited to see what we're going to be working on today. But before I hand it over to Darya, I just wanted to say, don't forget to subscribe to the Adobe Live YouTube channel if you haven't already, to be able to watch our live stream and replays and also to keep up with the community. And I would also like to say hey to everybody in chat, although I'm going to have to refresh my chat really quick because I think we are not loading. 1 second. 1 second, everybody. Sorry about that. But I can only imagine all of the awesome regulars that are in chat. There we go. Hey, Robert, Sam, Umacorn, Wade. Hello, everyone. Gareth, thank you all so much for coming in. It's good to see you all. Hello, hello. And also, without further ado, of course, I'm going to hand it over to Darya so she can give a little bit of an intro to who she is and the kind of work that she creates.
Okay, cool. So I'm a freelance illustrator, usually working with books, magazines, and any project that requires illustration, like animation or products, things like that. Things like that. Yeah, sorry about my English. I need a little bit like a warm up because yeah, it's not the first language for me. So here we are on my Behance, right? Yeah, and here's my portfolio basically. And yeah, this is what I do. There are my illustrations. Yeah.
Your work is lovely. I absolutely love the muted tones that you use, and I also really love just the scenery that you've done. It looks like you did. I love the Jane Eyre illustration down there, and all of the dogs that you do as well in your work. It's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I just started doing the dogs because I don't know, I didn't do them before and I regret it. And they're so cute. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, don't forget to follow Darya over on Behance as well as Instagram if you would like to check out more of her work. And we can also just go ahead and get into Photoshop if you're ready to start working.
Yeah, let's do this. My mouse is a little bit slow, so sorry if I'm a little bit weird.
No problem.
Yeah, and it's also my first stream, and this is my first time drawing live, and this is so much different from what I usually do because usually I just play some music and keep silent for like 6 hours and just stare at the screen. So now it will be really a challenge for me.
No problem. I can, you don't even need to worry about chat. If anybody has any questions, I can relay them to you. And basically, you're just going to kind of like be explaining your process. And yeah, we're just going to be hanging out and chatting.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
of course.
Yeah, let me just find my, yeah, here it is. So today I'm gonna draw a dog. Actually,
Yay!
a bird. Yeah, because yeah, as I said, I draw too little of them. Yeah, so I picked a borzoi dog, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's TikTok with all those, like, let me do that for you, Yeah, it just stuck in my head, and I love it. And it also it has such a beautiful silhouette, and it's so smooth, I don't know, and graceful, and yeah, I wanted to do something like that. Maybe it's even romantic in a way, but maybe it's
Yeah,
just me. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Borzois are beautiful.
Yeah. So also, if there's a link in there, I recently watched Emily movie. It's about Emily Bronte. Yeah, so it's like imagined, her life imagined. And oh, I got crushed because it's so, I love Bronte sisters, and I love books and novels, and of course I love ekranizations. And so this mood of, dark romance in Wuthering Heights, And I at first I thought I should just draw a cute dog, and then today I was in the mood to draw the dog in the forest, maybe something more, something more moody. And as you said, my tones are usually so. Actually, I struggle sometimes. I need to keep up and be more positive in my colors, and it's a challenge for me. And usually, my agent says, "You're so depressive in your colors," and I just keep them up, just keep controlling myself. And it's hard for me actually, because it's much more comfortable for me to pick palettes that are kind of, I don't know, grayish.
Yeah.
And
I love your palettes. Honestly, I can absolutely see that dark romance theming in your work. And I love the dark moody palettes. It was actually one of the main things that really drew me to your artwork when I first saw your Instagram. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, let's do this today. Do you want me to show the picture that I chose for?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's find the browser here. Yeah, my tablet is actually quicker than mouse. Oh. Yeah, so here's the library that I collected in Adobe Stock. Perhaps we'll have the link later for you. And here are the pictures that I really enjoy. Okay, it doesn't open up, but here's my collection. And I will show it. Sometimes I usually prefer to, keep my references on the right side of the desktop, and always look there and just, oh, please open. Yeah, so here it is. I'm sweating, I think.
That's all right. You're doing great.
Thank you. It's also an early night here for me, so sorry. Okay, so here it is. And it's beautiful. And here's my canvas in the app in Adobe Photoshop. I always use Adobe Photoshop. I've been using it from the very beginning, like 6 or 7 years ago, when I just started using computer for drawing. And before that, I studied drawing and painting. And I just was using my traditional pencils and things like that. And then I wanted to level up, and I went to Adobe Photoshop. And
It looks like we are actually having a little bit of audio technical difficulties, guys. So we will be right back. 1 minute. Okay, guys, we are back. We have fixed the audio issues, and Darya, you can go ahead and start working again.
Yeah, okay. So I was saying that I started using Adobe Photoshop like 7 years ago, and I was used to be a pencil girl, and I was so used to it that I actually was at first drawing something like on paper in pencil. Then I would scan it, and then I would move it to Photoshop, and then like color it.
Yeah.
And it was so slow, and I didn't feel like the flow of the process of painting, and it was like it wasn't quite good. And then it's weird because I couldn't just left the pencil, but I had to. And then illustration basically began for me, because now I don't draw in traditional at all. I just use Photoshop, and its possibilities for me are now endless, because I feel so comfortable here. I feel so comfortable in, like zooming the canvas, making it as big as I want it, and drawing all the details that I need. And it's just endless, and I love it so much. But the irony is that I don't know, I love it so much that I don't love any other apps, I guess. I don't know. So I feel absolutely different in Adobe Illustrator. It's absolutely different. They have another space there. And when I'm there, I'm just like, I'm so lost, and I don't know how to move and what to use. So as an illustrator, I actually have to be able and use lots of apps and change my style, and to keep being flexible. Yeah, and Illustrator gives you great opportunities and options and stuff like that. But I'm kind of pretending in Photoshop and use everything that I have here, and trying to make it look like, to look at more modern and contemporary. Because, as I said, I was studying before. I was studying in a classic painting school first, art school, and then I had like 6 years of education in university, and we had like all this drawing and painting lessons, and it almost killed Illustrator in me. Yeah, yeah, it sometimes it really stops people from drawing. And yeah, because my school wasn't strict enough, I still could be I still can experiment and stuff like that. So yeah, I found Adobe Photoshop, and I found myself basically. It's really,
that's so great.
Yeah, I just wanted, sorry for the long intro. It's really important for me to understand it even myself. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, and actually I wanted to mention that everything I know about Adobe Photoshop is kind of an improvisation, and very much on instinct, because I don't like searching for long instructions of how to use that or how to use this. I will try this and to see where it will lead me. And so everything I know here is just the way I learned it, and the way I use it might not be very, the best way to use it, but it's my way. And I'm also kind of stuck with it. I downloaded brushes like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and I found the perfect ones for me, and I just keep using them, and I keep them and cherish them, because I'm so scared of losing them, because I'm so comfortable with them. I never experiment with the brushes. I'm so sorry about this, but I never do, because I found them and I use them, and they're just perfect for me. So yeah, we'll explore this now.
Awesome.
Yeah, sorry, was it too long?
No, that's all right. I'm looking forward to seeing your workflow, since it sounds like you work off of intuition a lot.
Yes, exactly. I'm very much emotion girl, and yeah, you can see this in my work, I guess. So yeah, okay, let's start. And usually I make some sketches in my notebook here, but it's not the main process, and it's just like to keep my thoughts on paper and just maybe find a composition, something like this. But then I always begin the real process here. And today we'll start from the main character, our dog, here on the right. Let's actually move it like this. At the moment, I don't need it. So yeah, what I do when I start with drawing the character is finding the shape, the main shape, and the silhouette. I used to start with line work, but yeah, it changed with time, and now I actually start with shapes. And here's the shape of my dog. To keep it quick and simple, I usually just use the reference below and just select with my lasso tool the main silhouette. And yeah, I already did it, so not to spend time on this. I select the silhouette, here it is, and then I start working with it. Oh my god, it's so different.
Great.
Yeah, so it's very rough at the moment, and it's just the first step of the whole process. Yeah, so it's a little different, the movement here. Yeah, let me just a little slow down to feel the drawing.
No problem.
Okay, here it is. And what I want to do is to find the lines and the shapes that I want to keep here, because there's a lot of needless shapes at the moment and waves, and I want to find my shapes. So I use the eraser, actually. I don't know if it's already weird. Yeah.
I use the eraser tool, it's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So actually, I feel maybe like a sculptor a little bit. That's what I do. Okay, yeah, I understand it. I understood it now. I create the main silhouette, and it's very rough and ruggy, and then I cut off the pieces that I don't need and find the right one. Yeah, sorry. I still need to open this because I actually need to see this. I always keep my eyes on the left and on the right and just check in with the image. I actually never, in the early stage, I never work without the reference. So yeah, here we go. Guys, my first brush movement on live stream. This is something special. Oh my God. Yeah, it does move a little bit weird, but I can manage this, I guess.
So do you always work with a mouse, or do you use a pen tablet ever?
No, I use a vacuum pen tablet. I can show you. Yeah, and I use mouse just for, change the screen or select the tool. But everything that I draw with my brush.
Very cool. So to make the silhouette, we'll just recap a little bit. So you lassoed the shape originally from the photo, and now you're going through with the eraser tool to kind of just clean up your shape and maybe simplify it to the kind of like sculpt it to the way that you want it to look, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. You put it so perfectly. I probably sounded so much more irrational. I don't know.
You're doing great.
I didn't expect it to be so, unnerving. So maybe, it's quite an intimate process for, an artist. And I felt weird about thinking that we will stream this process because, yeah, it's so. Never, I don't think anybody saw this so wholesome, you know.
Yeah, live streaming is really difficult. I've been doing it for about 8 years now, and I still get nervous drawing on camera. So
Oh
I
my
completely
God.
understand.
Yeah, you've been doing it for so long. That's so cool.
hmm
I actually saw your art and I really loved it. It's so
Oh,
cute.
thank you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're we move to the leg here, and this is where you see I left the hair the
hmm
hair here because I don't wanna select it with the tool. I wanna draw it with my hand to give it a movement,
hmm
even if it's a thing.
Somebody in the chat said, I really love your drawing style, Darya. Your art inspires me. I wish you a long journey as an artist.
My God, thank you so much. I'm so sorry. Actually, people are seeing this, and I'm so nervous, and it's so yeah, it's so different from what it usually is. Just drawing with myself. But okay, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's really loving your work so far.
Yeah.
So you were saying before we started the stream that you have a dog. What kind of dog do you have?
Oh, she's a street dog. That's how I
Mm.
call her. We
hmm
found her. We didn't find her. We found the she was looking for a home. We found her
Oh.
on the internet. She was in another city and she was just living at some trash point. I don't know. She was so cute, just a puppy of 3 months old. And she was just
Oh.
sitting in some box on the street. And she's kind of like a hunting dog
Mm.
plus Labrador. She's very
hmm
light. Yeah, light maybe. And beige maybe. Um, but she's very also slim and
hmm
sporty. And she has such a great character. I don't know how we found her because I just saw the picture and I thought, this is my kind of dog.
Aw,
And
yeah.
I didn't expect anything from this because yeah, we already had another dog. She was with us for just for a time. She wasn't
Mm.
our, yeah, but she was living with us, and so we didn't need another dog, and we were living in a small apartment, small studio. But I showed the picture to my boyfriend, and he didn't reject the idea, and it was something. And yeah, we wrote to these people, and they brought her to us, and now she's with us for almost 1.5 years, almost 2 years.
Aw, that's great.
Yeah, thank you. It's helping to talk about something else.
My husband and I just got a golden retriever puppy a couple weeks ago. So she's
Oh my
10 weeks old right
God,
now.
she must be an angel.
Yes,
Congratulations.
sometimes.
Yeah, though. I didn't expect the tooth to be so sharp. Are
Yes.
they?
They are very
Nobody
sharp.
told me about it because it should be so cute, puppy biting your arm, hands, and actually, this is so painful. And yeah, did she eat any shoes at the
No,
moment?
not yet. Nope.
You will wait for your first. It should be a surprise. It's always a surprise.
Yes.
So you're also a dog person. That's good that I
Yes.
chose this.
Yes. Yeah, so it looks like you're kind of like trying to sculpt away some of the fur. Are you going to add in more fur later, or are you kind of just figuring it out as you
Yes,
go?
Yes, I will. I just want to find the basic shape by cutting it off. Maybe I did too much. And I also want to find myself, because actually it feels a little bit, I feel a little bit disconnected from the process, because it's different and I don't quite feel. But it's getting better. So yeah. So when I will, and also, sorry, it might not be visible to you, but the movement of my brush is a little bit different. Maybe it's because we're streaming and it takes, I don't know, energy from my computer. And it's a little bit rough for me. Usually it's more slow and smooth.
What brush are you using actually? Where you talked about earlier how you love your brushes. Where did you get them?
This was the first thing that I thought about it when I was thinking about streaming, and I was like, people will ask about my brushes and I don't remember where I got them.
Oh no.
I literally got them on like first year of my school, and please open. No, it shouldn't open. So here they are, and let me show it. Is it interesting?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you can see here 3 saved ones. I a little bit configured them for myself, like made a little experiment, and found them and saved them, and I only use them now. This is the lightest one. You can see it here. I use it for line work. And yeah, this should be interesting. Thanks for asking me. Yeah, see, it has a texture and it's a light one, and it's almost like a pencil. But I'm so tricky. I don't know. I don't like drawing with this regular pencil, because I feel like this is too bold for me. The line, I hate it. Sometimes I use it just for writing, but for drawing, sometimes, but not usually. And I love this pencil. How do you call it? Mechanical pencil, because it's so light and so tiny, and I love it. And I feel something like this when I draw with this brush, And you can see on my artworks the last details, like strokes of pencil or something like this. I use this for all these details. And this is one of the precious one. It's like, it looks like this.
So it looks like it has kind of like a canvas texture to it almost.
Yeah. And it feels like an oil maybe, but the dry one. But I also, it's so important for me in basic strokes and everything that I draw, like shapes or figures, all those things. For all those things, I need the brush that has an angle. I don't know why. It has to be, it doesn't have to be like bold or big, but it has to be thin and thick, and it has to have this angle. Yeah. I don't know. Like, you have these brushes that are thick and flat, and and when you draw on canvas, it has this texture. So maybe a lot of what I do comes from my traditional painting and drawing, and I got so used to this that I kind of need it in Adobe Photoshop and in my illustration also. It's kind of like a therapy, to realize it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I actually hear that a lot from artists that started out traditional, where
Wow.
yeah, they'll use specific brushes, or they only work on one layer because that's what they're used to doing on a canvas. Lots of things like that. Your
I used to
background
have it.
definitely influences. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be so messy at the beginning. If you see my first illustrations, and what I hate, lots of people love my first illustrations. Some of my first illustrations won some competitions and, were published, and it's great. But as an artist, you see your first illustrations, and I just can't help but hate it. And they are totally in a different style. And I draw them exactly like I would draw on a canvas or on a paper. They're so messy, and I hate it now because like I was too lazy, to keep everything clean and nice. Just make another layer, make another layer and keep it simple and beautiful and clean. So now there was a stage that I had to watch out for myself and make myself keep everything on separate layers and create a group and make an order in the process. And then it got into a habit, and now I always when I work, you see here, usually I have the main character. I make a group for it, and I call it a doggo, a dog. And I have another subject, like on the background. I will make another group. I'll make a name. Lots of it came from my experience on working with animations, when you have to have objects that people, animators, can work with, and they need to be, understandable. And it actually made me better as a professional, because it's also when you use those messy um, techniques and styles, when you feel like you're a fine artist, but also an illustrator. It's such a surprise what you draw, and you can't, when you have a client, when you have a project, you can't promise something to the person. You started from something from the point A, and you ended up in a totally different point, and you're like, well, I was searching for it. I didn't know where I will end up. And you just can't you can't do this in a business. People need to know what they are, buying, because when you make a sketch and you just start a project, in your sketch, the client is supposed to see the final artwork. And I used to be not great with it. Now I'm better. So sometimes I used to make a sketch and it would look quite different from what I ended up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I realized that it's very important, and I don't do this anymore. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
I actually have a question from somebody in chat. So when you did the first shape, when you did the lasso tool, how did you fill it with color? What tool did you use to fill it with color?
I used this one. It's called, oh, please. Paint bucket.
Okay, just the paint bucket? Okay.
Yeah. And actually, it will come later. Maybe this is a stupid thing, but what I do, let me just show it. It's not actually, it's a little bit later, but if you have a question, let's do it now.
Yeah.
So I select the shape with, command and pick the layer, right? Okay. So just that I know we're on the same page. I create another layer with the selected area. I hide the original one. I go to the brushes. I pick my brush. So I showed you two of my brushes, but I also have the recent one that I use mainly now, and it's above all this stuff that I don't use. Below, sorry. Yeah, so this is a brush that it's completely flat, and I make the flow 80, so not to be completely, I don't know, to have some air in it. And I start painting, and you see we have this texture, those edges there. I love those edges.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
It's a little trick that I got from my messy early years. I love this feeling of painting texture and like painting brush that keeps some air and show you something behind something, and it makes it more arty. I don't know, maybe it's stupid, but I think this makes the difference. It's a little bit rough at the moment, but yeah, so I just just paint the whole shape from scratch by my hand, just to keep those strokes.
Yeah, that looks really nice. I actually really like that painterly look too. It kind of adds a little bit of detail and more interest to what you're looking at.
Yeah,
I love having like rough textures and paint textures on my artwork, so I totally understand.
exactly. It sounds like something irrational, and sometimes when I say it, it's like a waste of time. You already selected a shape. Why do you select it once more and draw it? But yes, the stupid thing is like it gives a soul to a painting, to a drawing. Yeah. I could argue with this, but maybe this is what it is. So yeah, you just saw one of my tips that makes my style special, maybe in a way. So yeah, okay, sorry. I will just lower the flow of the eraser. I actually starting to find myself.
Good.
Yeah, sorry, it took me.
You're all right. You're doing great, Darya. Seriously, you're doing great.
I just know that it's different from what I usually do when I'm alone. So I feel a little bit, ashamed for this, but thank you.
Yeah, no, of course. No, your work is lovely, and I love seeing your workflow as well. So no need to apologize. You're doing fantastic.
Thank you, Kate. So just if my screen or my canvas will be too small, let me know, please, because I don't know how you see it or I don't think about it. But if it's too difficult to see, just let me know, please. And maybe, I don't know, the screen, I should make the app bigger. I hope it's not a problem.
I don't think it should be a problem if you're using your reference. That's totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah. It might seem like I don't use it at all, but I always move my eye on the right and see the shape I kind of like, when you're working on a puzzle and you always need to catch up with the original image,
Yeah.
something like this.
Mm-hmm.
This, does it happen to you when you're drawing and you need to, like make a line or something, and you make it like 10 or 100 times because when you draw like something like this and you make, oh please, oh yeah, sorry, so when you make something like this and you don't like it and you make it again and then you
Yeah.
don't make it again, yeah, this is so much me. Maybe it's my, I don't know, maybe it's something about my psychology, but
No, I'm the same way. I call them lucky lines. You have to wait till you get your lucky line to
oh,
the one that you really like.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, because they are all different
Mhm.
and I don't like them. So I keep making them before until I find the right one. So if you've seen this, because I create something, then I erase something, and I erase something, then I create
Mhm.
again at the same point. Sorry if it's a waste of time, but this is my process, and I just want to show you it in an honest way.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people appreciate our viewers appreciate an honest view of somebody's workflow. And I know a lot of artists that do the same exact thing. I think every single artist does that where they will draw and erase and draw and undo, redo, undo. You are not alone in that, I can promise you.
Awesome. So yeah, let's be relatable.
Yeah, exactly.
Also I'm an early morning bird,
Hmm.
and I don't draw like on the evening or in the night at all. Never. Like maybe
Hmm.
when I have some firing deadlines, but even then I just wake up earlier to work. So one more challenge for me, I'm drawing now and it's an early night for me here.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
So it's a little bit different for me. Maybe in the morning I would be more energetic. Oh, I don't know.
I I wanted to say also I really love the shapes that you're choosing, like how you sculpted the tail just now. It's very particular and kind of geometric in the way that you kind of are sculpting the shape, and I think that lends to your personal style.
Yeah,
It's really beautiful.
thank you so much for
Yeah.
noticing because yeah, I'm happy with the tail. This is
Hmm.
what what I wanted the whole silhouette to look like. Yeah, I'm just finding the right, angle and the right shape for every piece and
Hmm.
every detail, and then it makes the whole image, makes the whole image.
How long did you say you've been illustrating in this style?
Mm, I think I was searching and well, maybe not searching, working on my style since 2017,
Mm.
and just in late couple of years, maybe even a year, I don't know. I think I have uh, what I want to call my style now.
Hmm.
And sometimes I feel such a regret for starting drawing from an early age, and from an early age starting to publish in my work, on
Mm.
Behance and everywhere else. Maybe it's just, maybe it's not true, but I feel like people have seen my early work, and that's not what I wanted people to think about me.
Mm.
Sometimes I Google myself as we all do. So, and I Google myself, and what I see in Google is some like artworks that I like 3, 4 years old or even older, and it pisses me off. It pisses me off so much. You know, why? I just created a brilliant artwork. Why don't you put it there? This is what I do, not that. That's not me anymore. So please don't show it to people.
I completely relate to that. I think for a lot of artists, including myself, it's hard to look at old artwork when your style has changed. But at the same time, I will also say, as somebody who has live streamed, again, I think that your followers and people that enjoy your artwork really love to see your early stuff, because it's fun to see how much your style has changed. And especially if they have followed you now, it's fun to look back for them, maybe not for you. It's fun for them to look back on your old artwork to see, because it's really inspiring for especially young artists who are just trying to learn how to draw. They might feel like they see a lot of these artists that have really beautiful styles, and they haven't maybe found their style, or they're just beginning. It's inspiring to be able to see the professional artist's journey from the very beginning to now.
Yeah, from this point, absolutely, that's true. But you know, as always, you are too hard on yourself. Other than people that like my work, I appreciate it so much, but you know, I'm not so kind to myself in a good way, you know, for keeping up. So, and yeah, so this is the problem that I have to deal with. And also, you know, like for people who like my work, I can deal with this. I can let it be, and okay, you have your choice. If you want to like this old crap, okay, that's your choice. It's a job. But I think so much about clients, and sometimes clients reach out and with the work that I did like 2 years ago, and I don't do exactly these things anymore. Yeah, and this is sad. But maybe I'm just at this point of my, you know, self becoming an illustrator and finding my voice when I just kinda found it, and I just have to work more and work longer. So to stick up with this style that I'm proud to show, you know, proud to work with. Yeah. Okay.
We're like coming up on about oh, 1 second, you guys. I think my headphones just went out. 1 second. Can you guys hear me? Can I hear you, Darya?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Sorry about that, you guys. What I was going to say is we're about halfway through the stream. I know you're not completely finished with the shape yet, but maybe we could show a little bit of your coloring process, or maybe like the next step in your process, just so we can kind of see a little bit more of your workflow.
Yeah, absolutely. I was also thinking about it. So I will leave some things that I can let it be, and let's proceed with this beautiful hair. Do you call it also a hair on a dog? You know, is it
fur?
Fur, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, hair. Like, no, yeah. So this beautiful long fur. Oh no, I was using the razor. Let's just show it a little bit here. I love this line, this movement of this brush, when you can this flow of this brush, you know, it changes it's to this. Yeah, maybe like this. You know, when I have it has different shape when it's bolder on one point and thicker on another, somewhere in the middle. It's like a dance of a brush or a straw. I like to play with it, and it also gives a nice touch to the whole picture. So imagine that we leave it like this, and then I will make it smaller to make those thin lines even smaller. Yeah, sorry guys, I got a cold 2 days ago.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for coming on the stream, even though you're sick. Really appreciate it.
I couldn't miss it, you know, it's such a shame that I caught it. I might need to change an angle like this. Did you already notice that I changed an angle of the brush? I didn't think I mentioned it, but in process I changed it. Okay, let's leave it like this because it keeps the time.
How long does it typically take you to finish a full illustration from start to finish?
Like ideally, if it's a simple one, it takes maybe 12 hours in 2 days. Like 6 hours first day, 6 hours another day. But it's a simple one if I already know what I need. So me trying to squeeze everything in 1 hour is a challenge for me. I'm sorry if it looks so slow, but it is. You know, even the cute dog didn't help me with making it quick and small. But I would miss all those small details, sorry. Maybe I just needed... I wanted to already start drawing the dog, but I would miss those first steps, and I think those are interesting ones. So sorry about that. Yeah, something like this. Let's do this. And yeah, now it's time to play with colors.
Yay!
It won't be too colorish. don't think so positive of me. So I select the shape. This is a trick that I learned really just recently. I don't know how. It was by chance. So I select the whole figure, the whole silhouette, because we need to paint something on the silhouette, and I don't want to go beyond the lines, you know, because I used to always miss the lines with the borders. Yeah, borders. That's the one. And I would use a razor and, you know, clean up after this, and it would waste my time. And now I just select the whole figure object, and I do this. So let's make those nice pots, or how do you call it? Those shapes of light color on fur. Oh, it's a little bit edgy because of stream. Sorry. You see, so I don't go beyond the selected zone, and I'm so glad that I found this thing. Maybe it's like, the basic one, but because I'm such an intuitive learner, I didn't know about it. Let's go to the head. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a shame that I won't be able to draw more, with a little bit more, dedication.
Mm. I'm curious to ask a question about your color palette. How did you find your colors that you use? Did you just like use the colors that you really love, or is it kind of from an artist that inspired you, or how did you come about your color palette?
Oh, I saw from one of the streams that you usually use your color palette, right?
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, so I don't do this. So, yeah, I'm absolutely every time I use the grade here, and it's an experiment every time. Maybe I just you know the shades of darker ones and lighter ones, and maybe I use a lot of uh, grayish blue,
Mhm.
for dark things and dark details. And this is the one I just automatically go to without thinking. And it depends on the mood of illustration when I pick if it will be more, pinkish or more yellowish, which is very brownish. And yeah, I just experiment with it. And again, or no. Did you hear my oi? That's cute. Yeah, here goes the traditional art school again, because I was learned and I really like this, tip of when you draw something, you need to have like, you choose your limited amount of colors, like
Mhm.
3, 4, 5 colors, and every one of each color needs to reappear in the artwork again.
Right.
You can't
Mhm.
use, like red just once. Maybe if you have a concept for this, maybe yes. But to keep the piece look, organic together,
Mhm.
look good for your eye, I usually use all the same colors everywhere in illustration. Like if I will use the pink here, I will use it again, like in the background somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just use different shades of the same colors, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good tip to kind of keep your palette minimal, to only have a few colors, and it kind of makes it look like it all goes together, like it's
Yes.
cohesive. Yeah.
Yes. It's if you have more than like maybe 5, 6 colors, I think it might be too much. And the thing is that it will bother your eye, the eye of the
Mhm.
viewer. It won't become complete. It's like an ecosystem. It
Mhm.
needs to work together with each other, and that's why, yeah, this is the tip. Yeah, sorry, I might skip this. So I made, or I didn't make. Yeah, so here's the layer for this, I don't know the word, and another layer for the line work. Let me show it to you because we're on time. So imagine everything else is finished and I already work with small details. I use this brush that I was talking about, the smallest one that looks like a pencil.
Mhm.
And yeah, I would just draw every small little hair or fur here. And I love it. Actually, I love this process. It might look dull, you know, to keep drawing so many lines one after another. But maybe this is the biggest part of all my work, you know. It kind of creates the pattern for the image. You can play with it very nicely, and you see the shapes that I found
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning. I keep up with those shades because in my line work, I don't know if you can see this. You know what I mean? This shape with those strokes, I kind of
Yeah.
flow around it. So maybe it's also a thing. Everything flows together.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It kind of draws your eye through the shape and it looks really interesting. It adds a lot of detail.
Yeah, I made it an eye. Yahoo! Now it must have some connection with us. I love drawing eyes with this brush. Usually I will remake it later, but I don't know. It's so simple and nice. Oh, you know what I also do? Oh, sorry, it popped up. I love doing something like this. Okay, so pretend it's an ear. Yeah, and then I fill up the shape like this. I don't know. It also feels nice, and I use it a lot sometimes when I'm
Mm-hmm.
drawing the last details.
So do you typically work in gray for the majority of the time and then you add color later? Do you always start from gray?
No, no. I know illustrators who do this, like they
Mm-hmm.
work with black and white from the beginning, and then they somehow, I don't know how, it's magic for me. Because, yeah, I need to see the colors from the very beginning. Yeah, I just wanted, originally the dog is kind of ginger brownish, and I thought that I will create more than just the dog, and I wanted it to be on the background, and I also like the pictures of black Borzoi dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I just wanted to work with black. But if it would be another color, it would be another color from the beginning. Yeah, maybe you. I didn't show something important yet because maybe I don't realize it. Like, what else I could show? Yeah, sometimes I use a gradient. Let me
Mm.
show this. Actually, I need to select again. Here we go. Another layer and gradient. This here. And yeah, let's just to choose another color. Let's use the brighter one, like more whitish. And choose an angle.
Oh, interesting.
It doesn't look the way I wanted it to look, but just to show you the trick, you know. And it gives, maybe change the color of the background so you could see it better. Let's make it darker, you know. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how I usually pick the color. Oh, please, my mouse is so slow. I know which kind of pink I need. It should be somewhere here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, maybe something like this. Let's do this. Gradient? Oh no, bucket? You call it bucket. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Nice. But now I don't like the white one. So I choose the layer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is also what I do. Color overlay.
Mm.
Here goes the stuff. I didn't think about it, but it's nice stuff to show. Maybe we'll go somewhere from this one. Looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like that pink.
yeah, it gives a contrast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do we have here? Oh. Now I want to change the color of those. Maybe just a little bit lighter on. Yeah.
Cool. It's starting to look really cohesive, like it's all kind of starting to go together now that you're choosing the colors.
Yeah, let's it might be different if I would really work on this, but let's keep it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's bring it back where it belongs. Too bright. I think I need to change the order for this one to look better. Oh no. Yeah. Still. Okay, sorry. Just one more time. Oh yeah, this is what I do. I usually click here to find the color from the painting, from the illustration. Okay, not perfect, but you get it. Let me also show you something that might be interesting. Now I don't need the reference. Oh my god, it takes ages to move my mouse. So pretend that I finished with the artwork. Usually everything that I do, I showed you with, painting. I just use brush, eraser, and just looking for the right stuff. So what I did now is I collected every layer to one layer, right? And I go to the filter. Yes, and no, next. Camera raw filter. Once again, I somehow found it and I stick to it till this day. So it opens up. And this is where I experiment with the final color. It's not completely different from what I have in the process, but for the final piece, I usually make this, I search for the right colors here. I made everything together, I glued everything, I sculpted everything, and now I want to just slightly make it look better.
Yeah.
I love this tiny trick effects and grain. I use grain to make it look more, I love it. Every time I see it, I'm waiting for this part of the process to see what I draw, what I just made, to see it with grain. I don't know. It looks like kind of like you printed it and you see it on texture now on paper. I love it.
Yeah,
so
I love grain. It looks like it's printed, and it kind of adds more character to the digital art. Like it makes it look a little bit more traditional. And there's something about it. It just looks really nice.
Yeah, I'm so happy I found it somehow someday, and I use it always. I love it. Sometimes maybe it makes the quality of an image slightly less better, slightly worse, but everything you do to make it look beautiful. So then I go to color grading. I also love this one. It's like I feel like a DJ here because I keep trying different options. You see, it makes so much difference here, and all the magic happens here actually with colors. I kind of hate how it looks at the moment. The face, but okay, sorry. Yeah, I like this. I like this yellow. Makes it warm. Here we make it brighter or darker. Highlight. And here we work with shadows. Like every dark color that you have, you can change the shade here.
Yeah.
Like make it more pinkish or greenish. Let's keep it here. And you can make it even darker to keep the contrast here. I love the contrast now.
Yeah.
The background and the dark figure looks really nice. And here there's something in the middle, like the light. Sometimes I don't use it, but I'm not sure, but let's keep it like this. You can also make it lighter or darker. Let's make it lighter. Here's also some experiments blending the colors. And I don't know, that's the balance, but it also makes a difference. You can also use this. Oh, too dark, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's keep it here. And then also a nice one is color mixer. So here you can choose every like color mode, and slightly change it the way you want it to be. It doesn't appear here now, so let's try orange maybe.
I've actually never thought about using Camera Raw to edit my illustrations. I use Lightroom and Camera Raw to edit photos. But yeah, I've never thought about adding grain that way or editing the colors in my illustrations that way. I think I'm going to try that out next time.
Yeah, sorry. So it doesn't seem to look at the moment, but it's also a nice one here. Yeah, I used to use Lightroom before, but it's, one more step to use another app, and it's when I found that I can make basically the same thing here and control it even more, because in Lightroom I used already prepared presets,
yeah.
presets, yeah. So, and here I do everything myself, and like in basic, I would make the temperature colder or warmer, and to play with highlights, lights, shadows, whites, blacks, everything like this. And also a nice touch gives the clarity. I give it a little bit, slightly, maybe 10. When I have lots of details already here on the picture, it makes them pop up a little bit more and makes it look better. So I use that. And sometimes I play with vibrance, more or less. It depends on the mood and if I need it to be more positive or the regular one. Yeah, something like this. Basically everything that I use here. Sometimes I might use this tool to make the corners slightly brighter. Might be nice. Yeah, you can make it darker. I don't use it, but it's also an option. And yeah, here I click OK. And this would be the final stage of the process. I also use this little trick sometimes, not always now, but I used to love it. I found it in Lightroom, actually. There was a preset that was blurring the edges, and I loved it because it makes the small strokes slightly, blade away. How do you call it? Well, yeah. And when it looks, again, it was great on the edges. No. Yeah, so you can blur something that you need with this tool. Just to give
kind
it
of, it's like softer.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Sometimes you need it.
We have a question in chat actually. Do you typically work in RGB or CMYK?
RGB, yeah. And then I save the file here, file, and export, save for web. You see? And save, when you save for web, you can select there that you are saving for print or you're saving for just web viewing. Yeah, and it keeps the colors the same, but it prepares for print if you need it in SMIC. Because in SMIC, the colors are so different for me, I'm too, it's too much for me, I can't handle it. So yeah, I save it after I finish the artwork. But it's an important one, right?
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for showing your workflow. We have just a couple minutes left. Do you have your Behance up still? I would love to show everyone just another quick glance at your work. Don't forget to follow Darya, everyone, on Instagram and Behance as well if you'd like to see more of her work. It's just absolutely beautiful. I really love these environments that she creates and her characters. And just the dark, moody illustrations are just so beautiful. Look at that. Oh, it's so wonderful. I love the detail, the drawn detail of the tree in the background and just like all of the little drawn lines and stuff. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so the brush that I mentioned, the smallest one, like a pencil, this is here I use it. And also here you see the lines. This is where I used it.
Yeah.
And you see this little strokes and texture. This is because I painted with big brushes over it. Yeah. And here on the mountains, you can also see there's grades of color. That's because I painted it like this, like a bit arty. Yeah, I love looking again at my artworks. You kind of, when you finish the artwork, your eye is kind of, used to it. You don't. Oh, actually, you see on the corners here, it's a little bit blurred. So maybe just a little touch to soften the edges. Yeah. So when you have a fresh eye, you can see the artwork like it's not you who made it, and you don't know this artwork. You see it for the first time, and you're like, wow, this is good. And then you're like, oh, I made it. I'm so cool.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
Yeah. So here's another one.
There's another borzoi right there.
Yeah. You see, this is how the good borzoi looks like, not the one that I drew today. I would draw it better. Just give me time. And
oh my gosh, so much detail in these buildings. They're beautiful.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention this because this is a part of my growth as an illustrator. I keep making more details now. I love putting more, just small things like a picture here, a character there, the car there, or even the surface of the building. You should see everything, because if you don't, you won't believe in this illustration, and it won't, make the same impression on you. And I want to do this. I want to make it complicated, but also in a way of style, I want to make it simple.
Yeah.
Simple and light, So yes, that was my goal, to keep it more complicated conceptually, but have more breadth in style, in a way of style.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We're about out of time now, Darya, but thank you so much for joining us today. And we really loved seeing your workflow. You did amazing. Thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, of course. Stay tuned, everyone, for Daniel Flores, aka Delta Tango Mike, is coming up next with a new episode of Sketch to Vector. Learn how to take a sketch and turn it into a vector illustration with minimal lines and lots of shapes with his new topic, Bat Dan. Coming up next, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. See you later. Bye.
Thank you so much.